from the early 1980s towards the middle of the decade, if you were a fan of Chicago sports or a resident of Chicago, you're in your cups because there was a lot going on. We all know that Michael Jordan showed up in Chicago, rechanged the franchise, which led to the Bulls dynasty in the 1990s. We had the Bears, who were rebuilding under Buddy Ryan and Mike Ditka. Eventually won the Super Bowl in '86. But for hockey, Denny Savard and the Blackhawks became Stanley Cup contenders again, and the only team that really stopped in that era was, of course, the Edmonton Oilers. But in baseball, it was a great time as well. Chicago Cubs got back to the playoffs, and even though they lost to the Padres in a very devastating series, they made a lot of new fans and kind of killed the Chicago curse for the Cubs. But the White Sox had a great team as well. They made the ALCS once, and one of their top players was this guy. He became kind of a hometown hero, and of all places, Edmonton for the Trappers. While playing minor ball there, we hit 50 home runs as part of one of the best minor league seasons ever for an American player in the Canadian Canadian version of the PCL. Now, when you thought of home run hitters and you thought of hometown heroes of the White Sox of the 1980s, this guy came to mind, Ron Kittle. What a talented guy. More talent than one finger than a lot of players had in their whole hand. Now, we're going to talk about Kittle's numbers in the minor leagues, which led to Rookie of the Year in '83. But in the '82 season with Edmonton, the numbers could not be believed. He had moved up through the ranks. He played with Clinton and Lethbridge and Knoxville and Appleton. Now, in Glen Falls, the year previously, in 1981, he had 40 home runs and 103 RBIs for the AA side. But his numbers at 82 at Edmonton, and there was also a call-up to the big club where he hit 254. But Edmonton that year in 127 games, in only 559 at-bats, 50 home runs, 144 RBIs, 74 bases on balls, hit 345 with 22 doubles, 10 triples, 163 hits, and 121 runs scored. So you knew that he was going to finally make it in the major leagues after kind of struggling in his first half of his career. Now, Kittle was also well known to be kind of a strong worker. He was a steel worker for a while before going full-time into baseball. Now, he made his MLB debut at nearly 25 years of age, which is considered old for such a high prospect. Now, Kittle was a popular player for the '83 squad. They were called, their unofficial nickname was Winning Ugly, but this guy was far from ugly. Kittle was a big drink of water. Ladies and gentlemen, he brought size and strength, 6'4", 200 pounds, and mostly a designated hitter, but when he was at the plate, his efficient swing threw a lot of balls out of the park. Now, he made the White Sox team that won 99 games that year and made the squad's first playoff appearance since the miracle Go-Go Sox in 1959 World Series. Now, in that campaign, '83, Kittle was selected an All-Star and winning the Rookie of the Year honors after notching 35 home runs, which was a club record for a rookie, and an even 100 RBIs. Now, Kittle's 50 home runs combined with his 40 the year previous gave him well over 120 dingers in less than 3 seasons. Now, with the Trappers, of course, he became legendary. He eventually had his jersey retired in Edmonton at Telus Field for his efforts that year. Now, he was the PCL's Most Valuable Player Award, and in that era, the PCL, again, was just comparable to a lower-end, Major League Baseball franchise. Some of the best PCL teams of all time played in that era. Now, Kittle maintained his home run power, but after 1983, his batting average declined and his strikeouts increased. Now, Kittle eventually left the White Sox after '86 and played part of '86 and all of '87 with the Yankees. Kittle then went on to the Indians in '88 and he did briefly return again to the White Sox in 1990, sharing playing time at first base with Carlos Martinez. That year he batted .245 with 16 homers and 43 RBIs, but struck out a grand total of 77 times in 277 at-bats through the first 4 months of that season. Now, Kittle was eventually acquired by the Orioles from the White Sox for Phil Bradley on July 30th, 1990. He was resentful of the trade, which brought forth the possibility of Frank Thomas being promoted from the minors. Now, in need of a right-handed power hitter, the Orioles received a player with a $550,000 salary, as opposed to the $1.15 million that Bradley was earning. Baltimore general manager Roland Hammond was criticized by the Daily Press for bringing on too many ex-White Sox, like Kittle, Greg Walker, Kevin Hickey, Tim Hewlett, and Dave Gallagher. Now, Kittle eventually became a free agent again in the offseason with the Orioles, who had earlier signed Dwight Evans, who elected not to exercise the option on his contract on December 15th, 1990. He returned to the White Sox again and finished his career in Chicago in 1991. He appeared in 843 games over the course of his 10-year MLB career, recording 176 home runs and 160 runs batted in. But what's kind of weird about Kittle, ladies and gentlemen, the stats don't tell the whole story. He could hit for power, but his average would suffer. But when he started hitting for average, his home run was suffering. I'll give you an example. Now, in the 1989 season, hitting, 215, 230, 218. In that 89 season with Chicago, he had only 42 strikeouts and 169 at-bats, but he had 11 home runs and 37 RBIs. So when he was hitting for average, ladies and gentlemen, the home run suffered. Now, what was kind of weird, his home run numbers went up in 1990, but the average went down. Now, his last season with Chicago was a rough go, only hit 191. But I still look at that 302 season. And those 3 seasons from 87 to 89, when his average went up, his home run production, again, went down. But he's getting a lot of spot duty as well. In a full season, he would score probably, 70 runs, 80 RBIs, 30 to 35 homers. But he never played full time. But the idea of those years for Chicago, ladies and gentlemen, from 1983 to 86, 35, 32, 26, and 21 homers, and those 3 seasons with Chicago, again, he was devastating. But the strikeouts were tremendous. He led the league in strikeouts in 83, and put this in perspective, 520 official at-bats, 150 strikeouts. So technically, a good game for Kittle would be a home run, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. So, like I said, very few doubles. Like I said, the ball was over the fence. But like I said, he'd score. He'd get enough hits and runs. But the '83 season, what really stands out for me, he had 100 RBIs and with only 132 hits. It's very rare that goes on. And again, a Rookie of the Year, well deserved. One of the best rookies of the early 1980s. Now, Ron did just stop there with his baseball career. After he retired, he was hired as the first manager of the non-affiliated minor league Schaumburg Flyers of the Northern League. During his early years in the Flyers franchise, he did a series of commercials to promote the team, using the gimmick Ma Kittle, where he played both himself and his Ma Kittle. The ads were successful at sparking some initial interest in the team, and the Flyers hoped to steal away fans from the nearby Kane County Cougars, which was then a Florida Marlins Class A team. The ad mimicked the highly successful Converse ads where Larry Johnson starred as both himself and Grandmama. And unfortunately, Kittle resigned his position in 2001, but he endeared himself to a lot of fans of the Flyers. Now, married from 84 to 2010, he has 2 children. Now, one of the better books about baseball, he helped write it. His memoirs, Ron Kittle's Tales from the White Sox Dugout, was published in 2005. Now co-written with Bob Logan, who also co-wrote Michael Jordan's book, Come Fly With Me. The book features anecdotes from Kittle's time as a major leaguer, mostly with the White Sox. It's a great read, by the way. If half the stories are true what Ron talks about, it should have been made into a miniseries. Now, Kittle is also known to be a craftsman. He also builds custom collectible benches out of baseballs, bats, and bases, and he's always been affiliated with the White Sox and also does public relations for the squad on a regular basis. And I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, when he was in Edmonton, he endeared himself to fans from 2 to 102. Like I said, walk softly and carry a big stick. But there was a rumor that there was a certain percentage of fans at a Trappers game, and he asked him straight out, did you sign an autograph for everybody? And he couldn't remember, but allegedly, I guess he signed autographs. There was a few thousand fans there. He must have signed autographs for at least 30% of the fans there. Can you imagine what happened in Edmonton? Like I said, when he made Chicago, everybody thought they were hoping that the Expos or Blue Jays would maybe make a trade and bring him to Canada. But I think Kittle, the main thing is the big, home runs he hit. There were tape measures. And we were very lucky, ladies and gentlemen, fans of baseball in the 80s. I was a senior baseball player in New Brunswick where Kittle broke in, and everybody was talking about Ron Kittle. Not only because he could play, it's because that they used to call him the natural, because obviously with the movie there was a lot of connection because he really came from nowhere. From Edmonton to the Great Lakes of Chicago, that's still a long road. I mean, Edmonton is known for hockey, it's not known for baseball. But that season for the Trappers ranks for one of the most important minor league baseball seasons in Canadian baseball history, and I wouldn't be surprised he makes the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame as an affiliate member or whatever. But I mean, he was just, like I said, ITV, the sports network from Edmonton, used to do highlight reels of some of his home runs, and he used to call him Kittle Mania. There was a couple of, I remember that, Kittle Mania. What a great term for a great guy like Ron Kittle. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what we're doing with our vintage Chicago sports podcast, let us know with a like, comment, or subscribe. We're trying to reach 1,000 podcasts by hopefully Valentine's Day, because I've been out the last couple of weeks with laryngitis, not the COVID, but just as bad flu passing around New Brunswick. But just remember, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Chicago fan, you're listening to this, think back at the great memories that the White Sox and Cubs gave you in those 2 years back to back. Just tremendous. And I do remember my dad saying, maybe if you had nicer jerseys, they would have won, because no offense, the 83 White Sox jerseys, needed a, what do you call a Mr. Blackwell redux, as we say. So, ladies and gentlemen, have a great evening, and don't forget, if you haven't had the shot yet, get it. And if somebody doesn't want to get the shot, convince them to do it, because we all can get through this together. Have a good day. Bye.